If you want to journey through time in Hindi, please click the link above. They call me many names: Time Walker, Eternal Observer, Keeper of Ages. Yet I am none of those things. I am merely a wanderer and a visitor to epochs long past and futures yet to unfold. My journey is not bound by the constraints of a single life or a solitary moment. Instead, I exist outside the clock's relentless tick, free to roam where curiosity and the echoes of time call. This journal is not a chronicle of conquest or a record of great deeds. It is the story of the Earth as I have seen it, raw, unvarnished, and timeless. Through volcanic chaos and icy stillness, I have walked its surface. I have stood on shores where molten rock meets the ocean's fury and in forests untouched by human hands. I have heard the roars of beasts that now live only as fossils and the whispers of civilizations forgotten by their own descendants. I am both observer and participant, though never for long. I take nothing with me but memories, leaving only the faintest footprints in the sands of time. Here I recount my travels. Each page a window into an age, a glimpse of a world that once was or will be. Some epochs welcomed me with awe-inspiring wonder, while others struck terror into my soul. But in every era I have found humanity's mark its resilience, its folly, its brilliance. And so my story begins where all stories must, at the beginning. Let us step back together to the first chapter of Earth's long, tumultuous saga, the Hadean Eon, when this world was but a fiery newborn and the seeds of life were yet to take root. The Earth is a newborn, swaddled in chaos. Volcanoes burst forth relentlessly, spewing molten rock into the void. The atmosphere is a toxic soup of methane, ammonia, and water vapor. Asteroids and comets bombard the surface, delivering a cosmic battering ram that shapes the young planet. There is no life, no respite, only fire, fury, and the raw power of creation. Yet, in the cracks of this hellscape, the first whispers of water pools begin, hinting at a future unimaginable. The Earth has calmed, its surface cooled enough for the first stable continents to emerge. Beneath the ancient oceans, life stirs in its simplest form, microscopic organisms, harnessing energy from chemicals or the sun. The air remains devoid of oxygen, but the stage is set for profound transformations. The rocks bear witness, holding secrets in their layers as the planet begins its long march toward habitability. A miracle unfolds, the Great Oxidation Event. Cyanobacteria, humble architects of destiny, flood the atmosphere with oxygen. The sky turns blue and iron-rich oceans rust into vivid red beds. The Earth teeters on the brink of a snowball state, its surface locked in glacial ice. Yet multicellular organisms arise in the deep, foreshadowing the explosion of complexity to come. Billions of years pass in a slow, deliberate rhythm. The Precambrian is vast, its epochs blending together like mist. It is a time of subtle shifts, a quiet foundation upon which the drama of Earth's history will unfold. Life exists, but in forms so simple and silent they seem like whispers on the wind of time. The world is an alien landscape teeming with life. Trilobites scuttle along seafloors, and vast forests of ferns and towering lycophytes carpet the land. Amphibians crawl onto shores, taking their first tentative steps into a new realm. Yet, the era ends in cataclysmic extinction, wiping out much of life and clearing the slate for the next act. Dinosaurs dominate a verdant Earth. The air hums with the calls of pterosaurs, and ancient seas are patrolled by massive marine reptiles. The first birds take to the skies, descendants of their theropod ancestors. Flowering plants bloom, a revolution in plant life. But the rain ends in fire. A meteor's collision brings darkness, freezing the age of reptiles into the fossil record. The planet alternates between warm interglacial and frigid ice ages. Glaciers creep across continents, carving mountains and valleys in their wake. Mammoths and saber-toothed cats roam the tundra, while early humans huddle in caves, their fires a fragile defiance against the cold. Each ice age leaves its mark, shaping the Earth's geography and the course of its inhabitants. The Earth is a cauldron, oceans boil away, and the crust fractures under relentless heat. The carbon cycle ceases, and the planet becomes a barren wasteland. This is no longer a world of life, but a desolate rock spiraling toward its inevitable fate. I arrived at a time when the shimmer of bronze tools and weapons heralded a new chapter in human ingenuity. Across Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, and the Nile River, cities rose from the plains, their mud brick walls standing as monuments to humankind's growing mastery of the environment. In the cradles of civilization, bustling marketplaces echoed with the clamor of trade. Scribes, their hands stained with ink, etched the first written words onto clay tablets, lists of goods, tales of gods, and the laws that governed societies. Ziggurats and pyramids stretched toward the heavens, architectural marvels born of ambition and faith. The great rivers Tigris, Euphrates, Ganges, and Nile were lifelines, their seasonal floods dictating the rhythms of life. The air was thick with the scent of progress, but also the tension of conquest. The sharpness of iron transformed the world in ways that bronze never could. The tools and weapons forged in the fires of this age were stronger, more durable, a reflection of the flexibility of the societies that wielded them. This was an era of expansion and consolidation, as empires grew and boundaries shifted like waves upon the sand. Kingdoms clashed, their chariots carving paths of victory and destruction. Yet, this age was not defined solely by war. It was a time of cultural blossoming, as mathematics, astronomy, and art flourished in the shadows of temples and palaces. In India, the painted grey ware culture flourished, laying the foundations for the great Maurya and Gupta empires. In Greece, the city-states of Athens and Sparta began their rise, sowing the seeds of philosophy, democracy, and the arts. The Near East saw the rise and fall of mighty Assyria, and in China, the Zhou dynasty laid the groundwork for Confucian ideals and administrative governance. This age was also one of profound spirituality. The Vedas were composed in the Indian subcontinent, while Zoroastrianism emerged in Persia, and the Hebrew prophets shaped the course of Abrahamic religions. As I wandered, I saw people wrestle with questions of morality, existence, and the divine. In human history, the 7 wonders of the ancient world will stand as timeless symbols of human ingenuity and artistic brilliance. These marvels, scattered across the ancient Mediterranean and Near East, which will be celebrated by poets, historians, and travelers alike. Great Pyramid of Giza of Egypt, this would become only surviving wonder from the original list. The Great Pyramid stands as a monumental achievement in engineering and grandeur of ancient Egypt. Hanging Gardens of Babylon in Mesopotamia, or later people will call this place as Iraq. Although this garden existence will remain shrouded in mystery for humanity, but let me tell you, the Hanging Gardens is situated near a lush oasis in the heart of the desert, with cascading terraces of greenery and exotic plants. Statue of Zeus at Olympia in Greece. This colossal statue, crafted by the renowned sculptor Phidias, stands as a symbol of divine power and artistic mastery. Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, Turkey, a magnificent temple dedicated to the goddess Artemis. It will be renowned for its grandeur, intricate sculptures, and architectural splendor. Mausoleum at Halicarnassus in Turkey. This elaborate tomb, built for Mausolus, a satrap or governor of the Persian Empire, is a stunning fusion of Greek, Egyptian, and Lycian architectural styles. Colossus of Rhodes in Greece, a towering statue of the sun god Helios. It stands at the entrance of the harbor of Rhodes, symbolizing the island's prosperity and resilience. Lighthouse of Alexandria in Egypt, or the Pharos of Alexandria. This iconic structure guided sailors safely into the busy harbor of Alexandria with its brilliant light. In the East, the Han Dynasty presided over China's Golden Age, spreading the influence of Confucianism and opening the Silk Road. India experienced a cultural and scientific renaissance under the Gupta Empire, where scholars like Aryabhata explored the cosmos and mathematics. Meanwhile, the Persian Empire fostered a culture of tolerance and innovation, bridging the East and West. Yet, the classical age was not without strife. The Roman Republic crumbled into an empire, and that empire eventually fractured, paving the way for the chaotic centuries to come. The rise of Christianity transformed the spiritual landscape, sowing the seeds of a new epoch. With the fall of Rome, much of Europe descended into fragmentation. Kingdoms and tribes clashed, and the grandeur of the classical world seemed to fade. Yet, even in these so-called Dark Ages, light persisted. Monasteries became sanctuaries of knowledge, preserving the wisdom of antiquity within their walls. In the East, the Byzantine Empire flourished, a beacon of Roman continuity. Islam emerged as a unifying force in the Arab world, bringing advances in science, medicine, and culture. As I traveled, I saw trade routes stretch from the sands of the Sahara to the bustling markets of Baghdad and beyond. This was a time of transition, a bridge between the ancient and medieval worlds. Though the grandeur of empires waned in the West, the seeds of a new era were quietly taking root. As I stepped forward into the High Middle Ages, I carried with me the echoes of these earlier epochs that laid the foundations for the castles, cathedrals, and kingdoms that were to come. Each age, a chapter in the story of Earth's ever-evolving humanity. I arrived in a land of towering stone castles and bustling marketplaces, where the clang of blacksmiths' hammers mingled with the solemn toll of church bells. This was an era of knights clad in gleaming armor, riding under banners emblazoned with crests of noble houses. Feudal lords held dominion over sprawling estates, their power upheld by loyal vassals and an intricate web of allegiance. The streets of towns and cities were alive with activity. Merchants peddled their wares, spices from the east, fine silks and gleaming swords, while artisans crafted intricate works of metal and wood. Cathedrals rose from the earth like prayers frozen in stone, their spires stretching toward the heavens. The faithful gathered beneath their vaulted ceilings, their voices united in hymns that echoed through stained glass halls. But this was not an age of peace. The Crusades swept across the land, driven by zeal and ambition. Armies marched eastward, carrying both swords and the cross, their banners rippling in the winds of conquest. In their wake, knowledge and cultures collided, reshaping the very fabric of society. Universities began to emerge as centers of learning, sowing the seeds of intellectual revival. The air in this era was heavier, tinged with the acrid smoke of burning cities and the sorrowful cries of a populace plagued by despair. Wars ravaged kingdoms, and the 100 Years' War left fields littered with broken spears and shattered dreams. Rival popes fought for control of Christendom in the Great Schism, dividing the faithful and fracturing the Church's authority. The Black Death swept through Europe like a shadow, leaving devastation in its wake. Whole villages fell silent, their inhabitants claimed by the plague. The roads were lined with hastily dug graves, the air thick with the scent of decay. And yet, even in the face of such darkness, life persisted. Those who survived began to question the old ways, sparking the first whispers of change. Amid the chaos, art and architecture flourished. Gothic cathedrals reached new heights, their flying buttresses defying gravity. The Renaissance began to dawn in pockets of Europe, heralded by artists, thinkers, and inventors who sought to rediscover the wisdom of antiquity. Historians would later call this period the Dark Ages, yet I saw the glimmers of light that pierced through the gloom. Monasteries safeguarded ancient knowledge, their libraries filled with manuscripts that would later fuel a rebirth of learning. In the rural countryside, peasants toiled in the fields, their lives dictated by the rhythms of the seasons. Though their days were hard, they forged a connection with the land that was simple yet profound. This was an age of contradictions, of brutal wars and profound faith, of ignorance and the preservation of wisdom. It was a bridge between antiquity and modernity, a time when humanity endured, adapted, and laid the foundation for the extraordinary transformations to come. As I departed this chapter of Earth's history, I marveled at the flexibility of its people, their capacity to create beauty among trouble, and their unyielding hope in the face of despair. Emerging from the shadows of the Middle Ages, the Renaissance felt like a dawn breaking across the human spirit. The air was alive with curiosity, and the thirst for knowledge knew no bounds. As I wandered through Florence, Venice, and other hubs of this awakening, I witnessed artists, scientists, and thinkers redefine what it meant to be human. Leonardo da Vinci sketched machines that seemed to defy time, imagining helicopters and submarines centuries before their creation. Michelangelo's sculptures breathed life into stone, while Galileo gazed at the heavens and challenged the very core of celestial understanding. The printing press spread ideas like wildfire, shattering ignorance and reshaping the intellectual landscape. It was not just art and science that flourished. Explorers such as Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama, and Ferdinand Magellan set sail into the unknown, driven by dreams of discovery and riches. The world grew smaller as continents were connected by trade, culture, and conquest. Yet this age of light cast shadows, for colonialism began to take root, altering the fates of entire civilizations. The Renaissance's legacy blossomed into the Enlightenment, an age that celebrated reason, logic, and the boundless potential of the human mind. Walking the streets of Paris and London, I felt the electric hum of intellectual revolution. Philosophers like Voltaire, Rousseau, and Kant debated the nature of society, governance, and morality. Science surged forward. Isaac Newton revealed the laws of motion, and thinkers like John Locke laid the foundation for modern democracy. The Enlightenment was not confined to Europe. Its ideas echoed across the world, inspiring revolutions that reshaped nations, from the American Revolution to the French Revolution. Yet not all was harmonious. Empires expanded, and the industrial gears of colonialism turned faster, exploiting resources and people alike. Still, the dream of progress burned brightly, promising a better tomorrow. In this era, the world transformed before my eyes. Steam-powered machines roared to life, reshaping landscapes and lives alike. The once quiet countryside buzzed with factories, railways, and smokestacks that seemed to stretch endlessly into the sky. Cities grew rapidly, their cobblestone streets filled with the clamor of workers and the cries of merchants. New inventions, spinning jennies, steam engines, and telegraphs connected the world in ways unimaginable just decades earlier. I watched as humanity's ingenuity reached new heights, but I also saw its cost. The air in industrial cities was thick with soot, and the divide between the wealthy and the poor widened. Yet, even amidst the chaos, reformers and visionaries worked tirelessly to improve working conditions, abolish slavery, and advocate for education and equality. The 20th century was an explosion of progress and turmoil, a whirlwind of innovation, war, and cultural shifts. It was the era of global wars, where the clash of empires and ideologies devastated entire continents. I stood silently on the battlefields of World War I and witnessed the horrors of World War II, marveling at humanity's capacity for both destruction and resilience. The atomic age dawned, bringing both fear and hope. Space exploration became a reality, and I watched as humanity reached beyond its earthly bounds to touch the moon. Guided the world, yet also drove technological innovation at an unprecedented pace. The late 20th and early 21st centuries saw the digital revolution. From bulky mainframes to handheld devices, the world became interconnected in ways unimaginable before. Global web of knowledge and connectivity, alongside rapid advances in medicine, artificial intelligence, and environmental awareness. But challenges remain. Climate change, inequality, and the quest for sustainable living weigh heavily on this era. Humanity stands at a crossroads, its future uncertain, yet brimming with potential. Peering into the mists of the future, I glimpsed wonders that defied imagination. Cities in the sky, colonization of other planets, and breakthroughs that indistinct between human and machine. Yet, even as technology advanced, the core of humanity remained. Its dreams, struggles, and unbending spirit. My journey through time has been a series of human triumphs, trials, and transformations. From the wonders of antiquity to the marvels of modernity, I've witnessed the incredible story of humanity unfold. If you've been inspired by this journey of ancestors, enchanted by the tales of ancient wonders, or fascinated by the dawn of new eras, I invite you to join this ever-growing circle of knowledge seekers. Like, share, and subscribe to ensure my travels continue. Together, we'll explore new realms, uncover hidden histories, and weave the threads of time into the fabric of our shared understanding. Let us journey onward hand in hand through the infinite possibilities that the future holds. Until our paths cross again, remember the quest for knowledge is the most magical adventure of all. Safe travels, my fellow time adventurers.